Hi there, this is Malay and welcome to my channel. In today's video, let us continue looking at more text actions in Power Automate Desktop. If you have not gone through the previous two parts of this text action, I will leave the link into the description. You can go and watch them and then resume from this here. So let's go and first drag and drop this join text. The join text obviously allows you to join the text. However, here as an input you can see we have to specify the list to join, and then how do we want to join is something that we will see. First, we don't have a list, so let's go ahead and create a list. So let's create a list, and let's just call it as the countries list. We need to add some countries, right? So add an item to the list. Let's drag and drop that. Let's add Australia into the list. So the list is countries. Go ahead and grab that, click on save. Let's add India into the countries list, click on save. Let's add one more add item to the list. Let's add Canada into the list. It's going to be the countries list. Double click on save. Okay, so now we have the countries list and we will have 3 countries into the countries list. So we have the text action back. Let's go drag and drop join text. Specify the list to join. So we have countries list. Now, how do you want to join the values that are there in this list? Do you want to go with the none? That means it would just simply join without any of the separator. If you would like to go with a standard delimiter, so you would like to go with some space, one space between each of those items. You want to go with the tab, or you want to go with the new line. You can also go with the custom, wherein you can specify, let's say, the comma, and it will be stored into the joined text, which is fine. Let's click on save. Let's click run and wait for that to complete. And we have joined text completed. Let's go and open this. So you can see we have now Australia, comma, India, comma, Canada as a single text value, joined by a comma as we specified from the list that we have in the countries. If you open the countries, you will see that country is a list of text values with Australia, India, and Canada. Okay, let's now go ahead and check the other action, which is split text. Now split text is reverse than the join text, wherein you would like to text to split. So let's do reverse. We already have a joined text. Let's specify the custom separator that we already have there in the form of comma, because that's what we have, and that will then be produced into the text list. Let us change it and call it the countries list this time. Click on save, click run. Let's wait for that to complete. And there we have it. So if we now see the countries list, we now have the list of text values that has actually come from the joined text. So that's how we use the split text. So let's go ahead now and use the parse text. Now the parse text to find all occurrences or the first occurrences of a specified subtext or a regular expression. So you would like to essentially find a specific text within the string or within a text. Here I have a txt sample variable that has a user John Doe, his email address, and role as an admin. This is one single variable, one single string. What I'm looking for is to really get the email address from the string, and that is how we will use this parse text as an example. So text to parse. So I'm going to go and select my txt sample. Text to find. Now I'm going to use a regular expression, because email address can be found using a regular expression. So I'll be using that. So I will say, yes, I have a regular expression to find. If you're just looking for a word, you can just deselect it and specify the word itself that you're looking for in the text. I'll go with the regular expression and I will provide the regular expression itself. So I'm looking for the email colon, which is here, and then any email address that's been specified. That's what I'm looking for. So if it is match, then the position, the start position of this email, which is E, will be stored in the position, and the match itself, the result of this match will be stored in the match variable. Let's click on save, let's click run and wait for that to complete. So there we have it. Let's open the match. You've got the match. We have the email johndoe@example.com, which is then correct. And if you see the position, it is 16th. It would start from 0th index position, and on 16th position it could find the email and then the email address. So email starts with 16th position. So that is how you can use parse text. Now let me first go ahead and remove this. Okay, let's go ahead and use replace text now. So the replace text, of course, help you to find the specific text and then replace it with what you are looking for, right? So the text to parse, that means which text you would first like to search in. So in the text to parse, we are going to go ahead and provide our txt sample. Now you can use a regular expression if you would like to find a specific value, like what we did with the email address, and you can replace that with the value that you can specify. Now for now, let me go ahead and instead of role colon admin, I am looking for role column regular user. That is how I want to change it. That's a simple replace. Let's go, click save, click run. Let's wait for that to complete. And the replaced text, let's see, what do we get? We get role regular user. So the text and the role regular user is changed from role admin because we specified the simple replace text. Now let us go ahead and make the change into the txt sample, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that today's date is 27/03/2025. That's the date. In that case, what we really want to do is we want to find this date format. So I'm going to use a regular expression. This will allow us to find this date format, which is dd-mm-yyyy. That's what it will help us to locate. And then we would like to replace it with, let's say, a token. That is how you want to go ahead with this requirement. You would like to replace the date with the token. And let us see then what happens. We will have the text into the replaced text. Click on run. If you see the replaced text, it was successfully able to replace this date with the today token that we had. Now what that means is the regular expression that we've given was able to find the date and replace it with the today token that we specified. Next, let's take a look at the escape text for a regular expression. Now, if you see the instruction for this is escape a minimal set of characters, then you have a list of characters by replacing them with their escape codes. Now, what this actually does and is helpful is these characters have really a meaning in the regular expression. So when you want to use these characters in the regular expression, but want to use them just as a regular character so that the regular expression really ignores them, so it will put the escape sign before it, and that will help you then to work with these characters as a regular normal character in the regular expression. So let's go ahead and specify what we already have in the list. Let's start giving these characters which are mentioned here, right? So we'll get to know about this. So good to go for now. Let me also put a $sign, click on save, click run, and let's wait for that to complete and store the result in the escaped text. When you click on this, so you will observe that it appended the escape character before all the different characters that we specified. This will help then to use as with the regular expression. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this for now. And let's set a variable. Let's call this variable as where entities to recognize, and I'm going to put one value in this, and we will soon see where we're going to be using it. Let me put a value in this. Let me click on save, and let's go ahead and go back to our text actions, and let's look for recognize the entities in the text. This is one of the interesting actions in this all text actions. This really helps you to recognize different entities in your text. For example, the entity can be a number, a unit, date and time, or any other expressed in the natural language across multiple languages. So if you have a statement, or if you have the text, if you would like to extract the date and time, dimension, temperature, currency, number range, number, percentage, phone number, email address, hashtags, URL, you can see a list of entity type from the statement. Maybe you would like to store it into the database. Maybe you would like to store it as a JSON variable, then you want to pass it to any API. This is really powerful and helpful action available under the text. Let us see that in action. And for that reason, I have copied and pasted one of the texts available. You can see here, I have mentioned on March 31st, 2025 at 3 p.m. John Doe posted on Tech News that the new smartphone measuring 6.5 by 3 inches and priced at so and so with 20% discount available on theexample.com. Users call on this number, email address for queries. So what you can really know from this text is, I have tried to put up as many entities as we can extract, and then I can show you how do we extract the different entities, right? You can see then you have this running firmware version, operates at 25 degrees Celsius, supports this IP address, only units will be sold, first 50 customers will receive a free gift. So that's the different entities that I have tried to come up with. Let's click on save, and let's drag and drop recognize entities in text. Text to recognize, I already have a variable. Let me pick that up. Entity type, date and time, and you can also specify in which language your entire text is. So there are a bunch of languages supported. That is extremely useful. For now, let's keep it English, and I would like to recognize the date time entity type. So we'll click on save and click run. Let's wait for that to complete. And now you can see in the recognize entity, already I have in the text is 31st of March 2025 at 3 p.m. That's the original text which was there, and it was successfully able to recognize the date and time precisely. Isn't this amazing? Let's go and change some of the entity type. So instead of date time, we also have a dimension. Let's go for it. Click on save, click run. Let's wait for that. You can see the original is 3 inches because I already had 6.5 by 3 inches. That's what it was mentioned. So it was successfully able to recognize 3, and then unit itself is inch. So that's incredible. It was able to recognize this entity. Let's change this to email address. Click on save, click run. Let's wait for that to complete. Again, recognized original text is support@example.com, and the value itself is also example.com, right? So you can really see the power of this. Let's edit and go for one more option. Let's go for a URL. Click on save, click run. Again, we got the example.com as recognized entity. Let's see what else do we have. Let's quickly check on that. We also have a temperature. Let's go and edit this. Instead of URL, let us go with temperature. Click on save, click run, and you can see we have a 25, and unit is also Celsius. So you can also have 25 Fahrenheit for an example. Then it also recognizes unit as a Fahrenheit, and the value is 25. So it's really powerful way you can extract the entities from the text that you have. Then let's take a look at the create HTML content. Now create HTML content actually generates the rich HTML content and stores into the variable. Now what that means is you can really use this editor to create your rich text, and then if you would like to use the HTML version of it for any of your requirement or a need, you can do that. Now for an example, if we say this is a sample text to be made bold, and in that case let's go and put it to bold. Similarly, let's go ahead and put it to underline this text. Let's go and underline this text. You can say italicize this text. Also go ahead and say italicize this text. And then if you want, you can also go ahead and change the font. So from New Times Roman to, let's say, Verdana. This text is in Dana font. Let's remove this bold, italic, underline. Good with that. You can also go ahead and create the table if you want. You can see create table. Title is sample table. Header is default or a first row. Let's go with that. Let's keep it rows 2, columns 2, and let's keep all the other thing as it is. So we get the nice little table over here. You can expand and then work on it. So this is header 1, and you can also go with header 2, and then here specify value 1, value 2, like that you can specify. And you have all the other options to work with toggle subscript, toggle superscript. You can go with different font colors. So for example, if I select this, let's go and change it to blue color. So we are in the blue color. So essentially you can work with the entire HTML document as long as it is supported with this toolbar. You can put nice images also. You can put the hyperlinks. All of this is available. Click on save, click run. Let's wait for that to complete, and let's check the HTML content. So in the HTML content, you can see that we have a paragraph, strong, underline, emphasize, again strong, paragraphs, opening and closing tags as well, font face Verdana, right? Then you have font face Verdana again, table with the height, border, cell spacing. So whatever you specify actually in the HTML content, you can get the HTML of the content through this action. So this concludes the 3-part series of text actions. I hope all 3 videos of this text series helped you to understand all the basics of the text actions in Power Automate Desktop. I thank you so much for watching this video and the series.